I'm sitting down with Luke Sharman, who used to work in a migrant hotel. Is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so which migrant hotel did you work in? Are you allowed to say?
I am, yeah. So it was two. It was the Norwich Hotel up on Fort Road and the Brook Hotel, which is same owners.
Is that Best Western?
That is, yeah, both Best. Well, it used to be Best Western.
Right.
Obviously, since they took the contracts, they're not anymore.
Okay.
Well, as far as I know.
So you worked inside. What was your job inside the hotel?
I was head of maintenance and I was night porter, so I was working a mixture of days and nights.
Yeah.
I mean, got to see everything that goes on. So.
Okay, so what did you see? Obviously, we see a lot of speculation in the media, the alternative media. There's a lot of talk about migrant hotels at the minute. You were there. You were on ground zero, essentially. So what did you see?
Personally, some of the things I experienced, I think the biggest thing that I've mentioned on quite a few pages and channels and stuff now is the fact that there was a large kitchen knife found in one of the migrants' rooms.
Right.
Now, this particular knife came from our own kitchen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was only two ways that they would have got it, and that was either security had given it to them, which is a high chance. Security are very friendly with them. Security are normally, they sit in the rooms with them.
Really?
Yeah, very friendly indeed. Or
are they private security? Sorry, just to interject. Are they from a security company or a firm? Or is it
they
Serco?
are brought in by Home Office, Serco.
So
yeah.
Okay, so that is Serco, I think.
I believe so. When I was there, it was Serco.
Just for anyone fact checking,
yes,
we might be wrong.
Yeah.
We might be wrong.
Yeah. Obviously, it was over 2 years ago. I worked there now. Things could have changed. But yeah, obviously the other possibility was the migrant had actually gone into our kitchen himself at some point through the night because it was unmanned.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they've taken the knife, taken it up to their room. Now,
why would they need it?
Well, this is the concerning thing. Is one, why would you feel the need that you need that sort of size knife in your room? Two, why hide it under your pillow? If you've got it there and you've got absolutely no bad intentions with it, you'd have it on show. Or
do the migrants in the hotel get on? So it's not like a good defence against another migrant?
Yeah, to be honest, there wasn't.
I'm just trying to think of other.
Yeah, there wasn't really a lot of drama between them. To be honest, it was more the migrants versus hotel staff and migrants versus the hotel security.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. So what was the migrants' relationship with hotel staff like?
It was hit and miss. Most of the time, for the best part, it was all right. I mean, we spoke, we were civil, we were respectful.
Yeah.
But there was quite a few occasions, and 9 times out of 10, it was over food.
Really?
So if they were served food and they didn't like the one of the 3 options that they got,
right?
They'd kick off. There was one time that one of them actually assaulted a member of security just because they didn't like the food that was on offer.
Really?
And I mean, come on.
And you witnessed that?
I did, yeah. And so, I mean, I personally think if you're coming to this country and you're fleeing war, you're looking for asylum, then assaulting someone over the fact that there's not a variety of food that you like is absolutely appalling,
It just reminds me of that story in the press not so long back about chicken nuggets.
Yes.
There was a big kick-off about chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said the security were pretty friendly for the most part, but there were clashes, is that right?
Yeah. I mean, there's bound to be. At the end of the day, security are there to do a job, which I understand, but at the same time, they were too friendly with them.
Right.
I mean, they were standing outside smoking with them, they were sitting in the rooms having a laugh and, drinking in the rooms.
Well, alcohol?
Yeah,
really?
There was migrants that were drinking alcohol in the rooms, even though they were told no alcohol, no drugs. Obviously, it was the same scenario at the Brook with Sam Burgess. Obviously,
he's been arrested as well,
yes, because he caught someone with a bottle of vodka in the room.
Right. Okay. So you worked in you worked in 2 migrant hotels.
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me. And you've witnessed these sorts of things happening. What happened in the sense of prior to the hotel being an HMO essentially for these people? Did management sit you all down and have a meeting and say, by the way, this is happening? How did it come about?
So I worked there obviously when it was a normal hotel, when we were still open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at first, the rumour was just brought up that, look, we've been offered a government contract. They were offered £2 million a year to house them.
Per hotel?
Yes.
So if that's the same owners, that's $4 million, isn't
yes.
it? And they haven't got to pay the security.
I believe that has just come out a couple of days ago that apparently I'll be honest, I am speaking to someone that now works in the Brook currently.
Okay.
Obviously, I can't. Give
No, I wouldn't
name
ask
away,
you to.
obviously.
No. That's a risk
but
at them.
They have told me that the owner has now asked Home Office for more money on the contracts.
Really?
Personally, I think that's because of the protests and stuff that are going on outside. I think that's why. I think that the attention and stuff that's on it, he's now thinking.
I've attended two of the protests in Norwich,
yeah,
and I've written about them, and I've recorded, and I've even sat down with Glenn Saffer, the organiser.
Yeah.
I have never seen any drama, apart from a couple of weeks ago, someone with a mask, one of the counter-protesters, tried and was shoved off by security and police.
Correct. Yeah.
So why are they asking for more money for protests that are, well, regardless of your view,
I think it's because
nothing's happening. There's no violence there.
There is no violence, but I personally think they're doing it because, from the Home Office's point of view, take Epping for example, there was that much pressure put on it that it's now been shut. All right, it's only a temporary injunction, but I mean it's better than nothing. And now there's a domino effect. Councils across the country are following it. So I think what maybe his thinking is right. We'll ask for more money. If they refuse the more money, it's quite simple. We don't want them anymore. And then obviously,
I guess it's bad press for the hotel, isn't
it?
Yeah, the sight of a protest isn't exactly good publicity, is it? So so you were just sat down and said there's a rumor about we're going to be housing migrants. Did they tell you when this was going to happen, or was it just one day? I mean, did you have to turf people out of the hotel who were staying there?
No, nothing like that. That was just sort of mentioned, and then I think it was, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months later, we were then told that we are going ahead with it, and it will be turned into an asylum hotel.
Right.
As to which point I stayed on, because I'll be honest, at that point in time, my point of view and opinion was different. I'll be honest, I was more left leaning.
And what do you mean by that? There's going to be people going.
There'll be people in the comments. So at a point in time, I did agree with, we should help them.
Okay.
Which I think is fair.
Do you mean migrants as a whole, or are we talking specifically the people from France and the boats?
See, at that point,
I think that's where people get caught.
Yes. At that point, it was anyone.
Right.
Anyone that come here, I sort of, a few years ago, I thought, all right, they're welcome here, we'll help them, we'll do what we can for them. Now I've seen how they treat the country, how they treat its people, how they treat our culture. Sorry, but no. It's, it's the same if we were to go to another country, we would be expected to integrate into their culture. We would be expected to integrate into how they live in their country. And the problem is none of the people that are coming here on the boats are wanting to do that. They are here because they either want the benefits, free accommodation. I mean, what more could you want really? A 4-star hotel room, your food, washing done for you, you get a phone given to you by charity.
Laundry's done for them as well?
Yes, laundry's done for them. They have...
and it's all on the taxpayer?
Yes, yeah.
Right, okay, so, that's interesting. I obviously I've never been inside, you have, I haven't seen what you've seen, so you worked for, was it Best Western when you were there?
It was, yeah.
So when it became an HMO, shall we say, was it still Best Western who were paying everyone's wages, or did it change to the Home Office? Or someone else? I mean, did you become a circle employee?
I'm not 100% sure, no. We didn't have to sign no new contracts or anything.
So at the time, Best Western, we can assume from that.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so what led up to your... Were you dismissed, or did you...
No, I quit.
You quit?
Yeah, I quit. I say I quit, it was a bit 50-50. So basically I handed in my letter of resignation.
Yeah.
I told them that I'd work 4 weeks, which I was quite happy to do. Now, I'll be honest, at the start of them 4 weeks, I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to work there. I didn't like working there anymore. It just wasn't enjoyable. So I messaged, I called in sick, and I was then told, don't worry about your 4 weeks notice. We're terminating you as of today.
Really?
So at that point, I was like, sweet, not a problem. So I started my business, and I've been running the business since. And do you know what? It's the best thing I've ever done.
You got self-employed?
Yeah.
How long's that now? 2 years?
Coming up to 3 years.
Coming up for 3. Yeah. Okay, so you've got a T-shirt on there that says "Save Our Woman and..."
Yeah, that's it's a group that I started up.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
So basically, it's a group for anyone to join. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and X. It's basically for parents, women, kids, blokes who want to protect women and kids. You can all join. It is a place for people to voice opinions. Just a place for people to come together. Basically, I try my very hardest to keep the left off of it, which so far I'm doing quite well with. It just makes a nice environment for everyone that thinks the same, and to be in one place and come together.
Do you feel that women and girls are at risk from the migrants?
100%. Not all of them. I will admit, not every migrant is going to have bad intentions, but there's too much of a majority that does, and there's too many cases of all across the country that is just proving that. So,
okay. So that's almost like a level of guilty by association.
It is, yes, yeah, essentially.
So tell me about your arrest. You said off camera before we started, you were arrested something to do with the hotel?
So me and James Harvey, we were both arrested for a protest we done in Dis.
In Norfolk, yeah?
That is, yeah.
That was another hotel, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Park Hotel.
Park
Hotel. At the moment they house families, so women, kids and males. So there was no protests made, because we don't protest against anywhere that there's kids or women. But EDP put out an article saying that they were going to be housing male migrants and only male migrants from the date of our protest.
So what would have happened to the families in there?
They would have got moved out and shipped to another hotel or a HMO somewhere across the country.
So they would have just shipped them out and replaced them?
Yeah, just to bring in single males. So obviously we started the protest over that. We knew that the people of Dis weren't happy. There was a protest already organised by someone who was from Dis. So a few of us from Norwich, we said, right, we'll come up, we'll help you, get it seen, get it noticed, get the numbers up, and then we'll leave you to it. Now we done one protest. 5 days later, me and James were arrested, just gone 8 a.m. in the morning, which was the morning of, I remember rightly, July 26th, which was the date of our biggest planned protest at the Brook Hotel.
Right.
Now, they arrested us on the morning, knowing full well that we were speakers on that day. So, I think that, to be honest, was the main reason they arrested us. Is because
it's odd timing, if not.
Yes, yeah.
Wholly convenient.
But we were arrested for Section 33, racially or religiously aggravated alarm or distress. So,
is that what the Section 33 is?
Yes. Yeah.
So you hadn't done anything. You were going to a protest, and they arrested you based on
James he done a speech where he said stop the boats, deport them all, and refer to them as migrant filth. So basically, what he said is all the migrants that are paedophiles or rapists or suspected of
not the best of the society.
Yeah, he referred to them as migrant filth, which I think is fair. It's not exactly nasty, is it?
It's not the nicest thing to say, but at the same time, if that's his opinion.
At the same time, it's, freedom of speech. That is the biggest thing here that counts in our
And I wouldn't say that's an incitement to anything either.
Of course it isn't, no.
If someone said that to me or I overheard that, I would think, well, that's your opinion.
Everyone's entitled to an opinion, yeah. And I was arrested for a speech that I done where I pointed at the hotel and I said they're all pedos and rapists. They all come from the same. They are the same. Now, what I meant by they all come from the same, they are the same, is they're all migrants, they've all come off boats. Now, I failed to see what's racial about that, and I've certainly failed to see what's religious about that. I didn't mention skin colour.
No.
I didn't mention religion. No. I didn't say, all these, whatever religion they are pedos and rapists. I just simply pointed at the hotel. The hotel that we believed was filled with just male migrants from the date that we were there.
Yeah.
So we didn't know there was women and kids there. If there were women and kids there, we apologise for that, but it's EDP that told us that there were going to be male migrants there. So we went and done what we done.
So the EDP told you guys?
Yeah, the EDP.
And then stitched you up?
Essentially, yeah.
Crap.
Yeah, because EDP,
so they give
when
you
we got arrested,
information
they published that me and James had been arrested. Yeah.
I did see something about James's arrest floating around social media.
Yes.
I don't think anyone avoided seeing it. It was quite big.
Yeah, Norfolk Constabulary, they posted it. That was on BBC News. It certainly went far enough for people to know who we are.
Yeah, of course.
And I think the biggest problem to that was the fact that they actually put mine and James's, not our full addresses, but they put our street names onto the article.
Really?
Now, we know in previous there's been times where people have been arrested for similar offences and they've had their houses attacked. They've been attacked themselves. And obviously, to me, that's quite a worry. I have my daughter on weekends, and the thought of someone possibly coming and breaking my windows whilst my daughter's asleep.
So you're a father, and now this potentially is a problem.
Well, yeah, of course it is. Yeah. At the end of the day, my address is now out across the internet, and
it's out in the ether. It's out there now, isn't it? Yeah. The internet never forgets, as they say.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, digital footprint.
So, do you have a court date coming up?
Yeah, me and James are both in court on September 16th. We're both pleading not guilty, so we're gonna see how far we can take it. But yeah, at no point will I be given a guilty plea whatsoever.
Okay. So are you yourself? I mean, you come across quite a confident chap, and how's it affected you mentally? Has it been like a shock to the system, or crap, I've been arrested, or?
I'll be honest, not really.
No.
I think the main part for it for me is it doesn't bother me that much because I'm very dedicated to doing this now. I'd only been on the protest about 2.5 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, before getting arrested. I was mentioned on Hope Not Hate, quite a few other pages and stuff. So it was people, the minute I started speaking, people all over it. I was being shared across Facebook saying, everyone watch this. I've been nicknamed the whistleblower. That's what everyone refers to me now as.
I think I saw your interview with Mike Graham actually. So it's definitely been national news.
Yeah. But for me personally, they can arrest me time and time again. It's not going to make me stop. At the end of the day, if people stop and they give up just because they've been arrested, no one's going to get anywhere, and nothing will ever change.
So just to go back to, so you worked in the hotel, and obviously there was a rumour that it was going to be housing migrants as an HMO.
Yeah.
At the time, as you said, you were leaning towards, well, let's help people.
Yeah.
Why do you think the gangs have not been smashed, or the boats have not been stopped, as Rishi said?
Yeah, Keir Starmer's favourite, that one.
Well, it was Rishi as well. We're going to stop the boats,
smash the gangs,
and then smash the gangs.
Smash
Why do you think it isn't happening, in your opinion?
Because they can't. I'm sorry, it's they can stop the gangs. The minute they stop one, another one's going to pop up. And this is the thing, this is what they don't realise. What they need to do is they need to get these people halfway across the water and say, turn around, fuck off back. You're not welcome. It's as simple as that. But whilst they're still letting them in, these gangs are going, they welcome them when they get to the shores. So we'll take all this money off all these people, we'll stick them on a dinghy, we'll send them across. They're sitting there laughing at the government of this country.
Do you think if we were to, I mean, it has been said on the internet quite a lot, if we stopped the pull factor, as Macron called it, so the free hotels, the benefit money and things like that?
You wouldn't see nowhere near as many.
No.
Nowhere near as many come over. They'd find another country that's got better benefits than what we have to offer. But personally, I think the UK has the best benefits to offer to them out of any country going.
It's odd, isn't it? Because there's a few people who have struggled on benefits.
Yeah.
And yet there's people from across the world coming here to try and get them.
Yeah.
It's mind you, I guess if you haven't got to pay your rent 'cause you're in a hotel, it's a bit easier.
Well, yeah.
And you don't have to worry about buying your own food.
It's absolute madness, I think. It just genuinely absolutely baffles me.
So this has definitely spurned you on, like the protest, the arrest. It's definitely sort of lit a fire under you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's given me more determination to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, at the moment, due to bad conditions, I'm completely banned from this.
Even though so you were at that protest in Dis.
Yeah.
You got arrested on the day of the Norwich protest.
Yes.
And your bail conditions is that you can't go to Dis.
Yes, and I'm not allowed within 200 metres of any asylum hotel within the country.
So if you were to, what happens if you have to drive past one?
See now this
is
something
the one in Norwich is right on a roundabout.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about this, just because I don't want to incriminate myself. As far as I know, it does include obviously not driving past.
Okay.
However, if I need to go somewhere and the only possible way I can go is past a hotel, what choice do I have? Unless the police are going to come and pick me up, ferry me past the 200 metres so they know that I'm not, doing anything I shouldn't be, then what do they expect me to do? I'm not going to go on an extra 5 mile trip just to avoid it.
No, that's understandable.
At the end of the day, Norwich is where I live, it's where I've been brought up, and if I want to go somewhere, I'm going to go. Simple as that. So,
what does the future hold for you?
Well, if we're charged, so we're looking at possible 2 years for the Section 33, so up to 2 years imprisonment for that.
Despite not mentioning skin colour or religion?
Yes. But we were also arrested on suspicion of a fray, and we were put on bail for a fray. This is where the bail conditions come into place.
Right, okay.
Now, a fray is violence in a public place, either inciting, being involved in, or something along them lines. Now, there was no violence at that protest whatsoever. The only thing
Which one are you referencing, sorry?
In Dis.
In Dis,
yeah. The only violence
someone got punched, didn't they?
Yes, Sarah, Sydney's mum, one of our activists, Hugh Stanners, quite a big name on the side of the left. He actually assaulted her and then proceeded to call her a Nazi simply because she was recording in a public place.
Is that fascism though? We're recording this in a public place.
We must be every name under the sun then. So,
okay.
But
it's risky, isn't it?
It's absolute madness. He didn't get arrested either. Sarah did say that she said that she wanted him arrested. She did put in a complaint. The police replied, it's not in the public's interest. But apparently it's in the public's interest for me and James to be charged with an offence that we believe we've not committed.
That's very interesting.
So, yeah.
Do you think, I think it's Trump used the term lawfare. Do you think that's being used against you in some way? To maybe get you to shut up or silence you or back off?
100%. That's why the bail conditions are there.
Because obviously, as we've just explored, this has erupted for you and James, hasn't it? So do you think this is there to try and get you to be quiet? I know that sounds sort of conspiratorial.
No, I mean, personally, I don't think you're wrong. I think to a degree of it, say 50% is to keep us silent. I think the other 50% is to try and make an example of us. So that anyone else that's sitting at home going, oh yeah, we're going to go to these protests, we're going to come out with things, that some people might be offended by. And I think that's the main reason they've done it, is because they know that whilst me and James aren't at the marches, or, what much can we do? But that's where they're wrong, because the Brook, they're now meeting at the Norfolk.
Yeah. The Pink Ladies March.
Yes. Yeah. Well, me, Sam and James, we can go to that, because it's out the 200 metre boundary. So what we then do is we then walk to FDC lights. That's where the 200 metre boundary comes in from the Brook. Okay. That's where we stop. So we are...
You're not breaching any building conditions. You're not doing anything you shouldn't be doing.
But we are still making a point of, we are still going to show our faces, we are still going to speak, and we are still going to do exactly what we set out to do in the first place, regardless of what the police want to do.
You have, if you don't mind me saying, you have the look of a man who's got like serious sort of 100-yard stare. Devotion to this.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I am.
I feel like you look into like 3 buildings behind.
I do. Yeah, genuinely. Once I get into something, that is it. I set my whole thing onto it, and I just keep going until that point is proven.
That's probably why your business is doing so well. Set your mind to it, and boom.
Yeah.
Okay, so how has this affected any relationships at home, partner, anything like that?
No, I can't say it has, I'll be honest. All my family and friends, they're all well behind me. Since I got arrested and stuff, my mum and that's actually started coming to the demos and stuff now. So, yeah, there's a hell of a lot more support since me and James got arrested. That has helped get the numbers up.
No, it's good. And obviously,
it's seen that, and they've gone, well, this is our local community, and we need to do what we can. And there are so many people coming together in Norwich now. I think at one point a couple of years ago there was more left than there is right, and now it's at a point where there's that much right, the left don't even get a look in. So
I got to admit, I went to I want to say it was the first protest. I don't know if it was the first protest, but it was about 3 weeks ago. I went to one at the Brook, and there was probably, I don't know, 100 people waving Unite the Union flags, pride flags, things like that, opposite the behind the hotel. But the people in front of the hotel it just sort of ballooned very quickly. There must have
Yes,
been at
yeah.
least 1,500.
Yes, yeah, there was.
The first one I went to.
Yeah, police estimated it was around 1,000, 1,500.
I didn't go to the Pink Ladies March, but I went to the one beforehand, and there was a lot more people.
Yes.
It's definitely growing.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of mainstream media, they covered that there was only 200-300 people there. Now, if you actually get a couple hours into that protest and, there's YouTube videos and stuff out there of them days, there was well over 1,000 people.
I did try and speak to the counter-protesters as well, but no one would give me the time.
They won't. The
and I don't know why.
Is a lot of them, they wear face masks.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single one of us on our side was wearing a face mask on that day.
I've never seen anyone.
A single one, and it's one of our rules. It's when we advertise, obviously our demo days, we say no alcohol, no face coverings. Basically, don't turn up and be a fucking yobbo. That's not what we're about.
Just for anyone in America, that's someone to cause trouble.
Yeah. But it's, we get a lot of people that I think come just because they do want to join in with the antisocial part of it. Mm. And the problem is I think the left are there to antagonise that. The left turn up hoping to get a reaction out of the right where it will turn into a big fight and a big commotion, but they don't ever get it. No. We have arguments with them. There are words exchanged, but there's never been any violence, nothing like that. We've never been aggressive towards them.
I've never witnessed that either. I've seen people in masks and hoodies try and cause trouble and then be shoved off pretty quickly. Yeah. And it's only ever one or two. It's not like a big group of people either. So is your goal to have the migrant hotels closed?
Yes. Yeah.
So where do they go then?
Well, that's their problem. Back home.
Do you think the Home Office would deport them?
To be honest, I don't see how they're going to have much choice soon. There's too many people in this country now that are standing up, and if something don't change, I personally think there's going to be a civil war very quickly.
Or something close to
it. Yeah.
I don't think it'd be the stereotypical civil war, but it'll definitely be migrant versus non-migrant, I imagine.
Or maybe even just English versus government, to be honest.
Nothing like sticking it to the man, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's, alright, Conservatives, they were partly to blame. But I'll be honest, personally, I think Conservatives done a lot better job of dealing with it than Labour. Labour have absolutely just fucked it.
That being said, there's that massive influx they now call the Boris wave.
Yeah.
So the Conservatives didn't do that good a job.
Well, you say that. In the time that Conservatives were in...
14 years,
Yeah, I think... I was reading a statistic the other day. Labour have let in 50% of what Conservative let in their whole time in just the space that Labour have been in.
And is that about a year now, isn't it? Just over?
That's a fucking scary amount, let's be honest. That's a lot of people that are, you got to remember, they've not got passports, they've not got ID, they can potentially give a fake name when they cross the border, they give you a fake date of birth. That was another thing. When I worked in the hotels, there was quite a lot of people that claimed they were 15, 16. Now those stood there, they stood quite a bit taller than me, quite a lot bigger.
And you're sat down here, so how tall are you?
I think about 5'9".
Okay. So quite, definitely taller.
Yeah. Quite clearly not teenagers, but they're saying that they're 14, 15, 16 years old for the education. Free education. If they come here and obviously they're under the age of 18, first thing they've done is they're put into a school, college, whatever. So if they say, 15, that could be a 25-year-old man that's now mixing with schoolgirls and whatnot. It's just a scary factor, I think, very.
So just going back again to, we spoke about the Conservatives, we spoke about Labour. Do you think Reform are the answer? The Greens, Lib Dems? Give me your opinion. Honest.
To be honest, the last year or so, I was Reform. Personally, I'm not behind Reform now. I don't trust Nigel.
What's changed?
I don't know, he doesn't seem... I think he's just saying what people want him to say. And I think that's his main aim here, is to get the numbers up, and then once he gets in, half the things he said he's going to do, he's not. Personally, at the moment, I wouldn't say I'd vote for anyone, but UKIP UKIP is definitely starting to get on my radar a bit. I keep seeing videos, keep seeing the guy that runs it. I can't remember his name.
Nick.
Yes,
Nick
he
Tenkoni, I think his
yeah,
name is. Yeah.
he seems very down to earth, very honest, and I don't know. To me personally, he just seems like a lot better person.
So you'd like someone like Nick Tenkoni to be PM?
Yes,
if possible?
yeah. I think he'd do quite a good job. In all honesty, he doesn't care what people think. He doesn't care what people say. He sticks to his word and his opinion, and he just runs forward through it, and that's what I like. Whereas Nigel, I think he's too. Although he says things that some people would find pretty controversial, I think at the same time he says it because he knows it's going to get people supporting him.
Right. Okay.
And I think maybe he's just doing it to line his pockets a bit.
I wouldn't know, but I get what you mean. To your point.
I mean, I could be completely wrong. I mean, Nigel, he could be doing exactly what he says he's going to do, and he could follow through with it. But no one's going to know until
we get. What about Rupert Lowe? What's your opinion on him?
You see, Rupert, that is personally who I think should be running the Reform Party.
Really?
Yeah, he seems a lot more dedicated. He seems so much more of a people's person. I follow him on Facebook. I see all his posts. I see one this morning. He put up the St George's flag, and he just seems to take a lot more pride in what he does. To be honest.
Do you not think he's jumped on the anti-migrant bandwagon?
Hasn't everyone? Hasn't every politician? Bar
Labour,
obviously, yeah. I think that's the defence for most political parties at the moment is as Keir says, we'll smash the gangs because
hasn't yet.
Like I said, he couldn't smash an egg, and that's as simple as that. So
I haven't heard that one before. About it. There's usually a lot more expletives.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I've come out of a lot more, but I don't fancy getting any more charges before.
That's fair enough. On my channel, you're allowed your opinion.
Yeah.
So, your opinion, they close the hotels tomorrow, for example.
Yeah.
Are you happy that these people will be moved into the community in terms
Definitely
of deportation?
No,
because they're not going to deport them the same day they shut the hotel, are they?
What they need to do is stop importing and start deporting.
How would you smash the gangs?
I don't think the gangs are the way to go. I think aiming for these gangs, they're wasting their time because there's so many of them, and the minute you get rid of one, another one's going to pop up, for fuck's sake. And that's the way I look at it.
Like whack-a-mole.
I think that I'll be careful how I word this. So, some form of camp.
Mm-hmm.
Not obviously inhumane to the point where they're being treated unfairly or anything
like the one
that.
Patrick Christie's went to in France?
Yes.
Like a warehouse sort of thing?
Yeah. Where, they're safe, dry, they've got access to food, water, essentials, but they're not being given the extras. So they're not being given phones, they're not being told, you can go out, do what you want, where you want, when you want.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there has to be some sort of restriction on them. I think the asylum system, that needs looking at very in depth. I think they've now said they're going to create an independent panel to start dealing with asylum cases they want them dealt with within 24 weeks. Well, there's homeless veterans out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being funny, look at all the elderly people in care homes. Now that costs them and their families tens of thousands of pounds to house them. They've paid tax into this country. Some of them would have fought for this country. They're veterans and stuff, and they're just being left to fend for themselves. Whilst these men that come over that can't speak English, they've got no interest in speaking English. They won't even sit there and try to learn it. How are these people supposed to integrate with us if they're not even willing to learn our language? It's never going to happen, is it?
So, I keep going back on other topics because questions are popping into my head. So, you worked at the Migrant Hotel. You worked at 2. We've recently seen a video of a security guard watching quite a graphic video.
Yes, yeah.
A beheading video, let's call it what it is. I've seen a couple of short clips and TikToks and stuff, and people have sent me things. Did that sort of stuff happen when you were there? Those sorts
I'll
of
be
videos?
honest, I can't say I ever experienced anything to that degree.
No. Just seemed a bit odd to me. Like, why would you sit there watching something like that?
Let
alone while you're at work.
You've got to be wired some way in the brain that's not right to sit there and even be, invest your time into that sort of content.
Mm.
I personally wouldn't. I can't say I've ever sat there and gone, I'm going to sit there and watch videos of people being beheaded.
Well, if you want to watch gore, you watch something like the Saw movie.
Well,
sure.
yeah, something
where it's
that is dedicated
fantasy.
to it. Yeah,
not real sort of stuff. That's just, I find that a bit.
But I don't know. I think is again, I've got to be careful how I word this. It's not anything to do with race. It's not anything to do with religion. I think the problem is culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think because to them that's normal in their countries. There's a lot of countries where beheadings and things like that is legal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to them, because that is normal, they don't quite realise when they come here that we don't have the same laws. You know, we don't have that sort of thing here. That's not what the culture of this country is built on. And I think that, personally, I just don't think it's a culture that will ever be integratable with us. It just it won't
too
work.
different.
It is, yeah. And
thing.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with their culture, because obviously I don't want to be labelled as.
Well, no,
as
but I mean, the
racist or
country has
whatever.
become a melting pot of
Well,
cultures,
yes.
hasn't it?
You know, look at India, for example. You know, big shithole of a country. Let's be honest, and it's cultural, and that's what's behind it. Is culture. They want to come here, and fair enough. Bring your culture. You know, celebrate your culture. We've got no problem with that. But don't try and force it onto everyone else that doesn't believe. And I think that's the biggest thing here.
So as we're talking, it's the back end of August now, 2025. And there's a big controversy about raising the St George's Cross and the Union Jack.
Yeah.
The flag raising or raise the colours, depending on who you follow on social media. There's different terms for it. I did see a report that people are furious that Keir Starmer is flying the Ukraine flag while British and English flags are being torn down. What's your view of the raise the flags movement? Do you think it's a good thing?
Yeah. And you know what? I drove down Deerham Road yesterday, and I don't know if you've seen the flags literally the whole way along.
Really?
And do you know what? It looks absolutely beautiful. It does. It genuinely looks so nice. Not even anything to do with what we're protesting against and that.
Just patriotism.
Just genuinely seeing the flag up on the lamppost. It just lightens up so much. You know?
It makes me think of the sort of World War II documentaries after the war's finished.
Everyone waved the flags.
Yeah.
You know, it was very big in the 90s and the early 2000s. You know, flags were flown from everywhere, council buildings, everything.
It does seem to have died down over the past.
And it has died down a lot.
Years.
I think it's because the government are too worried about people getting offended. Councils are too worried about people getting offended. I was on TikTok live yesterday at the protest, and it came up that I'd been restricted due to all the flags that some people might find this offensive. Now my response to that was, well, get the fuck off my live then. If you're offended by something I'm doing, don't watch. If you're offended by this country's flag, go to another country where this flag isn't flown. You know, if you go
that seems like common sense, doesn't it? If you don't like
you
it.
go to Poland, they fly their flag with pride. You go to Germany, they fly their flag with pride. You come here, you can't fly your flag, but Palestinian flag, you can wave that around all day.
I wonder why that is. And it seems to be that as you call them, the people on the left are very, very invested in the Palestinian cause.
Yeah. But I've got a very brief opinion on that, and that is simply, I think every single one of them that is waving them flags are thick as fuck. They're waving a flag for a country they've not got the bollocks to go and fight in. And that is the way I look at that.
I did speak to, there was someone I spoke to who refused to come on camera a couple of days ago, and they have the opinion, this isn't verbatim, but they said to me, and I'd like to get your view on this actually, if you fly a Ukrainian flag, go to Ukraine.
Yeah.
If you fly a Palestinian flag, go to Palestine. If you're going to fly an Israeli flag, go to Israel. And also, would you agree with that?
I do, yeah. Okay. I do agree with that personally.
So you think we should only fly the Union Jack and the England flag in England?
Yeah, or
Britain,
maybe, you know, we've got so many days for events like LGBTQ. They have weekends and weeks, whatever, where they can celebrate what
They've got a full month now, haven't they? Pride month.
Yeah.
I say they, but you know, people in that sort of cohort.
Personally, I don't disagree with it as a whole. I disagree with the fact that they've got weeks and months about them. Have a day, have a weekend. That's fair enough. You know, at the end of the day, you're gay, lesbian, trans, whatever you identify as, good for you, brilliant. You know, why does everyone else need to celebrate it? At the end of the day, I wouldn't get up in the morning and go, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a massive, a massive march for people to say, yeah, we're proud that we're white.
I think someone would definitely call up that as a racist.
Well, yeah, of course they would. But
imagine a white pride march, people would lose their heads.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And if you brought colour into it, if you said, right, we're going to have whites march and we're going to have people of colour that are going to march, there would be uproar about it. People would say, oh yeah, you whites are racist against people of colour, and all you people of colour are, racist against white people, and fuck off to the liar. That's what I say to them. At the end of the day, people are what they are, but it doesn't mean just because someone identifies as what they identify as, that everyone else needs to jump on that and celebrate it with them. It's, but yeah, back onto the flags and stuff, I think maybe a day or a weekend once a year where we say, right, everyone comes together. You can fly a flag from whatever country you wish, and everyone comes together for that day. But I think people walking around flying Palestinian flags at a time where you can't even really fly our own country's flag, it's just disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that is a really good place to end it.
Yep.
So just finally, where can
sure.
people follow your work there?
So TikTok, Save Our Women and Kids.
That's the name of it.
That is, Facebook, just add. You're more than welcome to have my personal account, Luke Sharman. My friends are going up and up and up on that. I'm on X as Luke Sharman STB, and I'm on YouTube as Luke Sharman STB.
Okay, we'll put the links to them in the comments as well. And thank you for your time.
Yeah, not a problem. Been a pleasure.